We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Tes Amud Aleph in Meseches Sanhedrin. This is Sanhedrin Daf 39a. And the previous Amud, the Gemara mentioned that Rabbi Meir had 300 parables of foxes, but we only have 3 of them, and the Gemara now mentions them. They concern the following psukim. The pasuk says, Avos yochlu bosar, the fathers eat sour grapes. This is a pasuk in Yecheskel. V'shinei bonim tekena, and the teeth of the children are set on edge. And the pasuk also says, Moznei tzedek, avnei tzedek. There's a pasuk in Sefer Vayikra talking about just scales and just weights. And the pasuk also says, pasuk in Mishlei, tzaddik mitzara nechlotz, the tzaddik he saved from tzara, he saved from distressing times. V'yavo rasha tachtav, and the rasha comes in his place. And Rashi explains, Avos yochlu bosar, the fathers, they eat the sour grapes. Mashal, who this is all a mashal. Sharimo hashual es hazaev likones lechatzer hayehudim be'erev Shabbos. The shual, the fox, convinces the zaev, it convinces the wolf to enter the courtyard of the Jews on erev Shabbos, ulesaken imohem tzar chesuda, to prepare with them the meals. V'yochel imohem b'Shabbos, that he'll be able to eat with them on Shabbos. Uchshabal likones, now when he goes to come in, when the zaev, when the wolf goes to enter, chibru ala b'maklos, they come against him with sticks. Bal aroges hashul, so now he gets angry at the fox and he comes to kill the fox. Amar, he says to him, Lo ekuch ela b'shvil avicha, the reason why they're trying to strike you is because of your father. Shapam achas hischil asayin besuda, because one time he tried to help them with a meal. V'achal es kol nesach tov, and he ate everything that was good. Amar lo, so he said to him, Uv'shvil abba, because of my father, I need loka, that's why I'm getting hit. Amar lo, he said to him, Hein, yes, ha'avos yochlu bosar, quoting this pasuk of avos yochlu bosar, that again the children will pay for what the fathers do. Avol bo'imi, but then he says to him, come with me. Ve'racham makom lechol v'laspa, I'll show you a place where you can eat and you can be satisfied. Bolo ala be'er, so they come to a well. V'al svasom mutal eitz v'hachevel mushkav olav. On the edge there's a piece of wood and there's a rope over there. Uv'shnei rashi hachevel, on both sides of the rope, shnei deliyim keshurim, there are 2 pails that are tied. So nichnas hashual b'deli ha'elyon, so the fox enters in the upper pail, v'hichben, and becomes heavy on it. V'yared lamata, and thereby he goes down to the well. Udeli hatachton, all in the pail that's at the bottom, that comes up. Amar lo hazaev, so the wolf says to him, Lama atah nichnas l'sham, why are you entering over there? Amar lo, he says to him, Yesh kan basar ugvina, there's meat over here, there's cheese over here, lechol v'luspoa, you can eat, you can be satisfied. V'herelo demus halavana b'mayim, he shows him the image of the moon that's in the water, kidmus agol kamin gavina, it looks like cheese, agula, like round cheese. Amar lo, he says to him, Ani heichered, how can I go down there? Amar lo, he says to me, Ikanes ata b'dli ha'elin, if you go in this upper pail, and nichnas, he goes into the pail, v'hichben, and he becomes heavy on it, v'yard, and thereby descends, udeli shashual olav olan, so then the deli which the shual is in, the deli which the fox is in, that goes up. Amar lo, says to him, hey chani ole, he says, how can I now come up? Amar lo, so he says to him, the other pasuk, tzaddik mitzar nechlatz v'yavo rasha tachdav, the tzaddik is the one that is saved, and the rasha goes in his place. Lo kach ksiv, doesn't it say, moznei tzaddik v'gomer, talking about just scales and just weights. And the Gemara continues, Amar le kofer le Rebbe Gamliel, the heretic said to Rebbe Gamliel, some editions have the word Amar le Caesar, that it was the Caesar, the Roman Caesar, that said to Rebbe Gamliel, and it was changed to the word kofer, and that's true for the entirety of the Amud, says the Mesoras Hashas. In any case, the Roman emperor said to Rebbe Gamliel, Elokechem ganavu, that your God is a thief. Techsib, because it's written in the pasuk, Vayapil Hashem Elokim Tardeim al ha'adam vayishon, it said that HaKadosh Baruch Hu caused Adam to sleep, and then he took from his side and created Chava, and so he stole from Adam Arishon. Amr le Barate, so his daughter said to him, meaning the daughter of the Caesar, said to Rebbe Gamliel, Shavke, leave this question aside, because I can answer this question for him. Amr le, she said to him, she said to her father, Tanuli duchos echad, give me one judge. Amar Allah, so he said to her, Lamalach, what do you need this judge for? And she explained, Listin bo aleinu halayla, because there were robbers that came upon us at night. V'natlu mimenu kiton shel kesef, they took from us a silver jug. V'inichu lanu kiton shel zav, and instead they gave us a golden jug. Amar Allah, so he said to her, he said to his daughter, Ulavai shayavu aleinu b'chol yom, if that's what they did, it would be good that they should do that every single day. And so she responded, V'lo yafa hayalo la'adam harishon shenatlu mimenu tzei la'achas, v'nasnu lo shifcha So wasn't it good for Adam Harishon that his side was taken from him, and he was given a maidservant to serve him? That was given from his side. That was a good deal. It was a good exchange. Amar Allah, so he said to her, the Caesar said to his daughter, Hachi Kamina, this is what I was saying. Why didn't HaKadosh Baruch Hu just take it out in the open? Why did he have to put him to sleep first? Amrale, she said to him, Aisi li umtza de bisra, give me some raw meat. Aisula, they brought it for her. Osva tuse bachsha afikta, so she put it under the embers and then she brought it out to be eaten. Amrale, she said to him, Echol mehai, eat from this. Amar lo, so he said to her, Meisali, that's disgusting to me because I saw it raw already. Amrale, so she said to him, V'Adam Harishon nami, the same would have been true by Adam Harishon, Yahavas, Shekila behedya, if from the side of him it would have been taken out in the open to create Chava, Hava Meisale, that would have been disgusting to him. And the Gemara continues, Amrale Kofar Rabbi Gamliel, the heretic, again the Mesoras Hashah says it's the Caesar, the Caesar, the Roman emperor said to Rabbi Gamliel, Yadana l'kaichu my kovid, I know what your God is doing, V'heichon Yosef, I know where he sits. And it's Nagid v'isnach. Meanwhile, this Caesar, he was moaning and groaning. Amar Leis, Rabbi Gamliel said to him, my high, what are you distressed about? Amar Leis said to him, Ben echod yeshli b'krache ayom. I have one son, and he's in the cities overseas. V'yeshli geguim olav, and I miss him. Ba'ina demachvis le. So he said to him, Ba'ina demachvis le nehili. You should show him to me. Amar, so the Caesar said, Mi adana hechaniu. Do you think I know exactly where he is? And so Rabbi Gamliel said, Amar Leis said to him, Di'ika bi'ara lo yadat. You don't even know what's going on here on earth. Di'ika b'shma yadat. You think you know what's going on in the heavens. And the Gemara continues, Amar le kofel Rabbi Gamliel, the heretic, the Roman emperor, said to Rabbi Gamliel, Ksiv, it's written in the pasuk, Mona mispar la kochavim, that he counts the stars. My ribuse, what's so unique about that? Said the Roman emperor, Anamatzina lemimna kochve. I also can count the stars. So he brought some quinces and he put them into a sieve and he started spinning it around. Amar Lei said to him, Maninu, can you count these? Amar Lei said, Ukminu, he says, if you put them still, then I'll be able to count them. Amar Lei said to him, Rakia Naami Hachi Hadra. When it comes to the firmament as well, it spins around, it revolves in the same fashion, and yet HaKadosh Baruch Hu is able to count them. And the Gemara continues, Zika Diamri, there are those that have a version as follows. Hachi Amar Lei said to him as follows. Mani li kochvi said to him, I've counted the stars. Amar Lei, Rabbi Gamliel said to the Roman emperor, Emer li kichach v'shinech kama have, tell me how many teeth you have. Shadi yade lepume v'kamani lu, so he put his hand in his mouth and he started counting them. Amar Lei said to him, Diika b'fumech lo yadat, you don't even know what's going on in your own mouth. Diika b'rakia yadat, you think you know what's going on in the heavens. And the Gemara continues, Amarle Kofel Rabbi Gamliel, the heretic, the Roman emperor, said to Rabbi Gamliel, Misha bara harim lo bara ruach. The one that created the mountains was not the same one that created the wind. Shenemar, as it says in the pasuk, Hine yotzer harim uvore ruach. It uses the word yotzer, that he formed the mountains, and bore ruach, he created the winds. It uses a different verb, and therefore he was claiming that it was a different God, so to speak, that created the mountains than the wind. And so he responded, Elameat, according to that, Gabe Adam, what about by man? Dechsev vayivra vayitzer, it uses different verbs over there as well. It says vayivra, it says vayitzer. Hachinami, there also will you say, Misha barazeh lo barazeh, the one that created this part of man didn't create that part of man. Tefach al tefach yeshbo ba'adam, a person's face is a tefach by a tefach. Ushnei nekavim yeshbo, and there are two nekavim, there are two holes over there. It's a reference to the eyes and the ears. Misha barazeh lo barazeh, you think the one that created the eyes is not the one that created the ears. Shenemar, it says in the pasuk there also, it uses a different verb. It says hanotea ozen lo yishma vim yotzer ayin halo yabit. And so therefore again, are you going to say that was created by different beings? Amar Lei said to him, yes, that's true also, they were created by different beings as well. Amar Lei, so then he said back to him, Uveshas misa kula nisbaisu, do they all agree about the time of death? If they were all created by different beings, why should they all necessarily die at the same time? And the Gemara continues, Amar Le'ahu amgusha le'amemar, a particular sorcerer said to Amemar, Mi palgach le'loi, from your midpoint and upward to Hormiz, that belongs to Hormiz. Mi palgach le'tasoi, and from your midpoint and downward on your body, the Ahormiz, that's controlled by Ahormiz. Amar Lei said to him, Imkain, if that's the case, Hechi shavak le'ahormiz l'hormiz, la'avure maya ba'are. How does Ahormiz allow Hormiz to let water pass into his territory? Meaning to say, how is it that a person then drinks with his mouth, which is the upper half of the body, and then it passes into the lower half of the body? And Rashi explains, Amgusha mechashif, that refers again to a sorcerer. V'yodeya ani al yedei kishuv de mechetzi chulamala. I know all of this through my witchcraft, through my sorcery. The Hormiz refers to a shade that's a demon. Kedamar Hormiz bar lelisa b'Baba Basra, that's mentioned in Baba Basra, and Da'a Hormiz, which is the lower part, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Kari Hachi, that actually refers to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And so he said, Vehechi Shavik Le Ahormiz Lahormiz, Lavura Mayas Ruchim Ba'arei, how does Ahormiz allow Hormiz to pass this dirty water through his territory? Imkain, if so, Hech Meniach Ahormiz Lahavir Mayim Ba'artso, how does Ahormiz allow this water to go through his land, so to speak? Shekol Masha Adam Machnes Derech Piv, because whatever a person brings in through his mouth, Motzi Derech Hanakav Matachtonim, that of course exits in the lower half of the body. And the Gemara continues, Amar Le Keser Rabbi Tanchum, the Caesar said to Rabbi Tanchum, Talahavi Kulan La'am Achad, let's all be one nation. Amri said, Lechi, very well, but Anand Mahalinan, but Rabbi Tanchum said, we who are circumcised, Lo Matzinan Mahavi Kivasaichu, we're not able to be together with you, we're not like you. Atzu and Mahalisu V'havi Kivas, and if you are circumcised, then you'll be like us and we can be one. Amarle said to Meimer Shaper Kamer, what you're saying actually makes sense. Miu, nevertheless, called the Zochi Lamalka Lashadua Lebevar. Anybody who defeats the king in an argument, he has to be thrown to the enclosure of wild animals. So Shadua Lebevar, so they threw Rabbi Tanchum to the enclosed area of wild animals. V'lo achlua, but the wild animals did not eat him. Amar Le'ahu Mina, so a particular heretic said, Hai delo achlua, the reason why the animals are not eating him, Misham delo kafin, it's because Misham delo kafinu, it's because they're not hungry. So Shadyu Alayla Didei, so then they threw in that heretic, V'yachlua, and the animals ate that heretic. And the Gemara continues, Amar Le Kofer, the Rebbe Gamliel, the heretic, the Roman emperor, said to Rebbe Gamliel, Amrisu, you say that Kol Be'asar, that when you have 10 people, Shchinta Sharia, that's where the Shechina, that's where it dwells. So Kama Shchinta Ika, how many Shchinas are there that they're able to dwell anywhere where there are 10 people? So Kerya Lashameh, Sir Gamliel called his servant, and Mocha Be Ba'apatka, he struck him in the neck, and Amarle said to him, Amayol Shimsha, Bevesid the Kofer, why has the son entered into the house of the heretic? Meaning, why has the son entered this palace, this house of the Roman emperor? Amarle, so he said to him, Shimsha, Kuli Almanicha, the sun rests everywhere, that's why it entered over here. And so Rabbi Gamliel said, Shimsha dechan min elef alfe ribo shamoshe dekame kudsha berichu nichel kuli alma. If the sun, which is one of 10,000 servants that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has, that's able to rest in the whole world. So shchinta de kudsha berichu, so the shchina of HaKadosh Baruch Hu alachas kama v'kama, that certainly can rest throughout the whole world. And the Gemara continues, Amar le'ahu mino l'Rabbi Avo, a particular heretic said to Rabbi Avo, Elokechem gach konhu, your God is a joker. Dekamar le'li Yecheskel, because first he says to Yecheskel, Shchav al tzidcha smali, lie on your left side. Uchsiv shachavta al tzidcha yemani, and then he says, lie on your right side. Why is he making him flip over? Asahu talmida, so a particular student of Rabbi Avo came at that time. Amar le, and he said to Rabbi Avo, my time of the Shviasa, what's the reason for the mitzvah of the Shemitah year? What's the reason for letting the land rest in the 7th year? Amar le said to him, Hashta amina l'chumilsa, the Sha'avi l'tarvayu. Now that I got these two questions, the first question about Sefer Yechezkel and the second question about the Shemitah year, I can say one answer for both of you. Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to Klal Yisrael, Zaru sheish v'yishmitu sheva, you should plant in the 6th year and you should let the land lay fallow in the 7th year. Kidei sheteidu sha'aretz shalihi, that way you'll know that the land is mine. V'hein lo asukein, but Klal Yisrael didn't do that. They didn't keep the Shemitah. Elochatu v'galu, rather they sinned and they were exiled. Minhago shalolam, now the way of the world, melech basar v'dam, by a king of flesh and blood, shesarcha Allah of Medina, if the people in the country, if they rebel against him, im achzorihu, if he's a cruel king, horeg eskul, and he's going to kill everybody. Im rachmanhu, if he's a king that has mercy, horeg chetzim, he'll kill half of them. Im rachman moli rachamimhu, but if he's merciful and he's full of mercy, miyaser hagedolam shebehen b'yisur, and then the leaders, he's going to give them yisur and he'll give them afflictions. Avkach HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, miyaser es Yechezkel, because of this sin by Shemitah, he afflicted Yechezkel, making him turn over in different directions, kedei lamarek avonoseim shal Yisrael, in order to cleanse the sins of Klal Yisrael. And the Gemara continues, Amar le'ahu mino l'Rabbi Avo, a particular heretic said to Rabbi Avo, Elokeichem Kohen, who your God seems to be a Kohen. Techsiv, because it's written in the pasuk, v'yikchu li truma, they'll take from me truma, and truma is generally given to the Kohen. So he asked the following, Kikavrei LaMoshe, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu buried Moshe, apparently became Tameh, so b'mai tavel, how did he immerse, how did he become tahor in order to partake of the truma? V'chitema b'mayim, now if you're going to say that he immersed in water, v'aksib, but it's written in the pasuk, mimodad b'shalo mayim, that he can measure all of the water in his hands. There's not enough water in the world for HaKadosh Baruch Hu to immerse in. Amar le, so he said back to him, benura tavel, he actually immersed in fire. Techsiv, as it's written in the pasuk, Kinei Hashem bo eish yavo, it says HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes in the fire. But the Gemara says, "Umisalka tvilusa benura." So he said to him, "Is it really possible to immerse in fire? Is that considered a good immersion to make a person pure?" Amar lei. So he said back to him, "Adrab, on the contrary, ikar tvilusa benura. Who actually the preferred way of immersion is actually in fire. T'chsiv, as it's even written in the pasuk, "V'chol asher lo yavo ba'esh." Anything that cannot go in fire, ta'aviru b'mayim, that you put in water, and so that actually is the preferred form of purification. And the Gemara continues, Amar le'ahu mina l'Rabbi Avina. There was a particular heretic who said to Rabbi Avina, Ksiv, it's written in the pasuk, Mika amcha ki Yisrael goy echad baretz, who is like Klal Yisrael, one nation in the earth. Ma'iri busaya, what exactly so special about Klal Yisrael? Atun nami arvisu ba'adan, you're mixed together with us. T'chsiv, because in another pasuk it's written, Kol hagoyim, all the nations, ka'ayin negdo, are like nothing corresponding to him. And the Gemara continues, Amar lei, he said back to him, Mididchu asidu alon, from you, meaning from somebody among you, as Rashi says, Mididchu neviim sheyatzu mikem, even the prophets that came from you. Dahainu Bilam, that refers to Bilam Shayonachri, he was not Jewish. Veheyed aleinu, he testifies about us, shein anu bo'oso klal, that we're not considered to be within that group of kol hagoyim ka'ayin negdo. As the Gemara continues, Mididchu, from your own prophet, asidu alon, it's testified about us. T'chsiv, as it's written in the pasuk, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Tes Amid Beis.